Hello, sportsmen. February 24th, the year 2000. We have a show coming up here that has a lot of different things. This invention right here looks like a downrigger. I'll explain how this invention works. It's really rather ingenious. We're going to go crappie fishing with Gary Walton, and I tell you, catch some honking big crappies. We have news reports and a lot more. You stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. You're watching The Practical Sportsman.
No, you don't see that very often. Yeah, he isn't a real big one, I don't think, really, Chris. There he goes. Man, oh man, what have you got there, Gerald?
I've got me a record crappie.
That's what we're after today. Isn't he a beauty? Boy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't been fishing here very long.
No, about a half hour maybe.
Man, oh man.
Isn't
Here,
that a dandy?
get my tape measure here, you guys.
I got my tape.
Oh, do you? Don't hurt his lip. You want to get him mounted?
Yeah, it looks at him, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna.
Here, let me see how long he
Probably
is.
not big enough.
16 and a half.
You potlucker got one longer than I did?
Oh boy, I hope so.
16 and a half, anyway.
Is he really?
16 and a half inches. Mine was 16 and 2 pounds, 1.5 ounces. No, don't do that. You rip his lip if you're going to get him mounted.
Good advice from Gary Walton. If you want to have a fish mounted, treat it with care so the taxidermist doesn't have to do a lot of reconstruction. A crappie this size is definitely worth having mounted.
Look at that compared to that fish. That one huge crappie. Okay, guys, let's go see if we can get some more now. Yeah, look at that, Gerald. Man, another big one.
That's two.
He's not quite big enough to mount, though.
No, he's gonna have to go back.
Man, isn't that a nice one? Holy cow, 2 of them there. Chris got one for mountain.
Like father, like son. Chris Schwarzkopf
Oh, isn't that a
and Papa
nice one?
Gerald Schwarzkopf using simple ice fishing rods and reels to catch huge crappie one fine day in January of 1993. This was on a pond on the Walton farm near Imlay City. Gary Walton was behind the camera, so he wasn't catching those big crappie. He was doing things like chasing mink.
That mink over here on that tip up again. I gotta see how close I can get to him. Wild mink right here. How come we're getting so close to him here? Yeah, you don't see that very often. Yeah, he isn't a real big one, I don't think, really, Chris. There he goes.
But he wasn't gone for long.
I hardly believe it. I come out of my fish shanty and here's this mink again. He's eating them little dead suckers I got there. I could get him and sell his fur, but I think I'll just let him go. I could sure get him easy enough. Look at that, isn't that neat? I never see a mink that tame.
We might call it tame, but it's actually just unafraid of humans. There's a big difference.
Here is nice watching nature here.
No mink likes to be handled. They can't be tamed. They're weasels that are actually very vicious predators. And something is wrong with this mink.
Yeah, acts like he's coughing or something. Huh. Well, there he goes on his way. Can't imagine that thing being a wild one, though. See, it acts like he's coughing.
It's very unusual to see a wild mink this close, just like it's very unusual to catch a crappie this big. But thanks to Gary Walton, we saw them both on Walton's pond. Did I mention they catch pike, too?
You just got him about 4 o'clock.
Right there, 3
Yeah, go ahead. Look at that. Gee. 36 inches long, huh?
Yep, 11 pounds.
11 pounder. Oh, that's an old timer.
There is an alternative to tip-ups or to holding a rod in your hand. Of course, they make rod holders. Bill Acker up at Just Fish and Tackle in Ludington kept telling me that they're slamming the steelhead or they're slamming the perch or they're slamming something through the ice. And he says, what this is it's called a slammer. You can see right here, they make those up there and sell them at Just Fishing. It's the Just Fishing Slammer. Sort of like a tip-up. And he sent me one of these. I got to share this with you. It sits on the ice. The hole is right here. And this is the way the baby works. It's a different system altogether. this is how you cock it. And I say cock it because this is very interesting. Okay, there it's cocked. The line goes over the end right there. Now, when a fish grabs the line, it'll actually set the hook because, watch it, this is like a mousetrap. I shouldn't have a hook on this, but I do. Anyway, that's what happens, and it sets the hook. It's like a downrigger. This is called a slammer, a just fishing slammer. Thought you might be interested. It's sort of like a tip-up, but it's self-hooking, and then you grab it and reel the fish in. Last week, taxidermist Tim Hayes looked at the growth on the northern pike that Jim Sanford from Langsburg brought to me at the museum. Now, neither Jim nor Tim knew exactly what that growth was, except that it was big. Veteran DNR fisheries biologist Bill Groon has seen this type of growth many times before. Okay, Bill, why don't you unwrap that and tell me what you see? Bill Groon would tell me that fish in lakes around the world develop growths like this.
Well, here we have, as you know, a northern pike. Has a large tumor cyst on the side here, kind of reddish, kind of sore, raw looking. Typical of a disease we see in northern pike known as lymphosarcoma. It's a virus disease, probably spread during the spawning activity in the spring. It takes it a while for the infecting virus to attack the fish and for this disease to develop. They show up late winter, early spring from the previous year's infection. Individuals with bad infections probably die as the water temperature comes up and their activity comes up and so forth. The tumor probably kills them, but those that aren't infected too badly, they may survive. And
Nothing is contagious to a human, though.
nothing contagious, no. It's not known and not been linked with any problems in humans, but of course when you look at them, I've seen some that this entire area would be all this red, raw, sore-looking meat and just not palatable. But if you took that fish, filleted him out, cut out that infected area, the remainder of him would be okay, would be edible.
How many people do you think cut those tumors out and eat the fish?
I don't know. I don't, and I haven't. I'm like a lot of other anglers. If I catch a fish that's got a small problem, it's not too bad a problem. It's not too much, and I eat it. But when I get a fish with a large problem, I dispose of them. But it's psychological, I guess, more than anything else.
Well, is that a cancer? You said it's a virus.
It's a virus. It's called lymphosarcoma, and we always associate sarcomas with cancers, but it's viral. It's probably just through the naming process how it's got its name, but I'm not aware that it's actually a cancer.
Another name for lymphosarcoma is red sore disease, a viral disease relatively common in northern pike throughout the northern hemisphere. You can read more about this non-communicable but not pleasant to look at condition on our website. Remember that videotape I talked about last week, the one of the DNR meeting at Rose Lake, the one that I actually made copies of? But we got a letter last week, and Channel 56 in Detroit did. It was a prohibition for using that videotape and asking the TV stations to intercede and block me from using that. Well, as promised, I put all of the documents relating to this issue on the website, including the 3-page letter I wrote to the attorney who wrote the letter saying that I can't use the tape. Well, let me just say a long story short. I will quote from the letter that I just got today, a copy of it that was sent to Channel 56. It says, I am writing you again on behalf of the Safari Club Southeastern Michigan Bowhunters Chapter to advise we have withdrawn all our previous objections to the airing by Fred Trost, Practical Sportsman, of the January 27th Rose Lake video. And we are very sorry for any inconvenience we may have caused you. Well, I do appreciate that, and this tape, after we get done with the public TV pledge period coming up here for the next couple of weeks, we will get back to this videotape, and you will see portions, and you will be able to read the entire transcript on our website. Jackson Citizen Patriot Venture Outdoors. This was February 19th, article about Ted Nugent. Now, let me go right to the end of the article because this is kind of interesting. Ted and I haven't really had too much of a relationship in the past few years. I ain't gonna go into that, but I guess Ted will. He said, he's talking about different issues here, he said, another issue could be more ticklish. Nugent, whose Spirit of the Wild series has been on TV 3 years, wants to see better public television offerings for Michigan sportsmen. Well, cool. See, he used to be on public TV with specials, but he's not anymore. Given his druthers, says the article, Nugent would, quote, toss Fred Trost out of the state. We should let PBS know that he has terribly misrepresented the state. Nugent said he offers no concrete alternatives. Well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to. Wants to toss me out of the state? Well, Ted, I might as well announce it right now. I am moving to Florida. My wife and I are packing up, and we're going to be leaving the 19th of March. We're going down to Florida. We're going to rent a place down there. Just for a week, though. We're just going to be on vacation. We'll be coming back March 26th to continue the television show. Anyway, he not only took a swipe at me, Nugent, a life member of Michigan United Conservation Clubs, is also critical of its Michigan Out of Doors show on PBS. Quote, it could be a tremendous show, but they use Leave It to Beaver marketing, he said. Whatever that is. Anyway, Ted Nugent's show, Spirit of the Wild, is no longer on public television. And his archery store that he's had down in Jackson, I saw in another clipping here, Nugent closes archery store to market his products through his website instead. But also mention here that we still have our museum open. And you too, Ted, are welcome to come and see it. Richard Taylor from Redford got this buck in Livingston County. Livingston County produced quite a few big bucks this past season. The 10-pointer, 20-inch spread. What's the scoop on this?
Well, the scoop is...
You might remember Richard Taylor's story from last year's Hunting Awards banquet, and if you do, the significant part was not about the buck. The significant part was about his girlfriend, who I met down at the Mill Creek buck pole this past deer season. Now, the deer season before, she and Richard had a dinner date one night when he tried to work in a deer hunt. Now, you know how that goes.
I looked down at my watch. I said, well, 6:30's up. Better get going. And went to take the arrow out of my string. I looked over, and this guy was kind of looking up in my general direction. I said, well, I think I'm going to be a little late for dinner. So by the time we drug him out and everything like that, there were 3 messages on my cell phone, and all coming from her phone number, so I didn't know whether to return her call or not. So thanks. So I figured I better move back up to Michigan and say the heck with my job, so I did.
Oh, well, very good. When you getting hitched?
I don't know. We're kind of taking it day by day, but she's worth the drive.
worth the drive.
Up to Michigan, sure.
Very good, very good. I would have liked to hear those messages. Do you just happen to still have those saved?
No, but I can tell you they're certainly implanted in my memory. The first one was, well, you know, Rick, it's getting kind of close. I hope you're coming home, and I'll see you soon. The second message was, Rick, we're supposed to go out tonight. The third message was, well, I guess I'll just see you whenever you get here. So upon bringing the deer back, I called her up right away, and I told her that I got a biggest deer I ever got. So she was actually really happy for me. And I said, well, I think she's a keeper. And
very good, and we'll wait to hear the end of that story next year.
well, you kind of pushed the issue when we, I got a really nice deer last fall and with my longbow, and you asked me if it was worth coming up to Michigan to see my girlfriend and asked me when I was going to get hitched. So I proposed to Sharon after that, and we're getting married February 19th.
All right.
Very good.
So in part, I have you to thank for that.
Yeah, well, hey, I did the best I could.
Well, thank you.
And you did a good job.
Well, good work, Sharon. Yeah. No bucks this year?
2 does with the bow. That's about it.
Well, very good.
Thanks.
Congratulations. But something similar to it that we took during the summer, but it gives you an idea of what Don Scott is talking about.
Well, the fishing's been slow. It's not because of the lack of fish, though. I told you I had the underwater camera. Fish all over down there. I had walleye underneath me all day long, and they just would not bite the jigs. In fact, I lowered the jig on top of the head of a walleye. He sat there with the jig resting on his head, and he wouldn't do anything but look at it. So they're just not biting. You know, like I said, I probably saw 10 or 15 walleye come into my jig, and they just come in, look at it, swim away. So
Does that tell you that maybe you're doing something wrong?
well, you would think so, eh? I changed colors, I changed lures, baits, everything else. You know, you name it, I tried it, and they all come and look at it, but they would not bite it.
But you're having fun with the aqua view?
Oh yeah, I tell you, it's a whole new element to fishing, no question. You know, any other time I'd sit for 4 hours and not have a bite, I would have left a long time ago. But when you can sit there and watch fish, it keeps you there. You know, so I saw pike and walleye and.
Just a reminder that the documents that I talk about in the news, most of these things are on our website. You can look them up, download them, and print them. So that just gives you more information than what I was able to convey on this show. So a lot of things are happening, but don't worry about that all the time. Make sure you get out ice fishing, get out rabbit hunting, get outdoors. It's a great place to be. I'll see you next week.
Can't imagine that thing being a wild one, though. See, it acts like he's coughing.
It's very unusual to see a wild mink this close, just like it's very unusual to catch a crappie this big. But thanks to Gary Walton, we saw them both on Walton's Pond. Did I mention they catch pike too?
You just got him about 4 o'clock.
Right there, 3
Yeah, go ahead. Look at that. Gee, 36 inches long, huh?
Yep, 11 pounds.
11 pounder. Boy, that's an old timer.